Hey everyone, this is me, Player Slayer. Welcome to Slayer Speaks, where I speak, you type. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing Marvel Spider-Man 2 and what I would like to see. This is a video that I did not believe I had to make because, well, many people have made videos like this before, but I saw that some of their points are really agreeable, but I saw a lot of things that were missing in the video, so I'm just gonna speak my piece, right? Basically, first thing I want to see in the game, right, in Marvel Spider-Man 2 is, well, kind of co-op. I've seen many people say this, but this is like a side point to it. Peter and Miles need to be balanced. Like, okay, so in the game, if you use Peter right, you can kind of have him kind of toe to toe with Miles. But my thing is, really, it's like Miles has bioelectricity or the Venom Blast abilities, and it's a cool ability, right? But it can also be seen as kind of, well, you know, we're working together, you know, for co-op. So like, why not have him have BOP, you know? But it's kind of too easy to defeat an area of enemies, especially if there's two guys beating an area of enemies. So, you know, Miles Morales could be just a trump card. You can have him dominate an area by himself, really, and the other players free roaming or just backup. And if you give Peter impact webs and web blossom, you know, you get rid of them pretty easily. And on top of that, you can build bioelectricity, the bars and stuff for it, just by doing flips in the air. So I just believe that in the second game, Peter should have his own trump card, or if not, then have them kind of balance to the point where, I know it's a single player game, but have them kind of balanced to where, you know, it's not too easy. Or maybe just buff up the amount of enemies, or have a larger area where you have to fight two different sets of enemies by yourselves. You know, that would be a pretty good start. And the area that Peter has to fight enemies is closed off for Miles, and then vice versa. You know, so that's the first point that I'm making about the two games in Marvel Spider-Man 2. If there is a symbiote Spider-Man, please give him his own skill tree. You know, it would be cool to see symbiote Peter Parker and symbiote Miles, but if it's just like Peter Parker, which, you know, just for the iconic stuff, then maybe it can balance out between Miles, right? But another thing I want to see with the symbiotes is a symbiote shader for every suit. So, you know, instead of just being maybe one to three suits, maybe like a symbiote classic suit, symbiote advanced suit, and then symbiote Sam Raimi suit for all the, you know, Raimi fans. Every suit should have a symbiote shader, you know. In every suit that you see in there, even if it's like the suit is primarily, or a primary color is black, like kind of like Spider Armor Mark II in the first game, right? Just make it less of a metallic shiny black, right, or matte black, and have it more of a symbiotic black, or just classic kind of black, and then make the yellow, make it white. You know, that would be a cool thing. And just do rinse and repeat for every suit that has, you know, that's primary color is black. You know, please, Insomniac, no more Mary Jane stealth missions. Now, the Norman Osborn penthouse stealth mission gets a pass from me because it was so jam-packed with Easter eggs and references and hints towards the future of the series that, you know, kind of made it stand out from the other ones, from the other missions, you know. So sorry if the audio is kind of panning around. I'm looking at my door because I see something shadow. It's my dog, sorry. But yeah, But I know there's not going to be any more Miles Morales stealth missions because he has the invisibility quirk in his thing, and I mean built into him. That's his power, you know. So that's one thing that I kind of note from this game. Just please scrap these, and if you gonna make these, please make them interesting, please. All right. So next point, right? As you can see at the end of Miles Morales, Kurt Connors is, being forced by Norman Osborn to let Harry Osborn out of his liquefied chamber, which holds Harry Osborn as Venom, right? Now, I don't mind Harry Osborn being Venom. That's not my point here, right? My point here is if you're going to have a Kurt Connors side story or whatever, kind of minor story, please don't make it kind of a copy of Doc Ock's story. Basically, what I mean by that is, you know how Doc Ock was. It's kind of like Kurt Connors' story. He's, one of his limbs, or Doc Ock's all his body was useless. He had to get it. Kurt Connors had to get it back, and by doing that, he created something that turned him evil or turned him into a mindless monster or something. Both named after animals. If you're gonna have that as a side story for Miles, please don't make it a copy of Doc Ock's campaign, or not campaign, but I think you guys know what I mean. Doc Ock's derail into craziness. Thank you. In the first game, Peter Parker's Spider-Man he's up against 6 main villains, the Sinister Six: Martin Lee, Doc Ock, Electro, Scorpion, and Vulture, and then the other Rhino, right? Now, in my opinion, this is kind of the problem that Batman Arkham Origins had, being made from an entirely different developer, having to know the source of the Arkham games, and then, scraping the bottom of the barrel for Batman villains to use. That's basically the issue here. They use 6 of Spider-Man's most mainstream villains already, and heck, even bringing a C-list Batman villain into mainstream media. Martin Lee, aka Mr. Negative, right? So I mean, it would be cool for them to use Mysterio and Lizard, like I said, with Kurt Connors, but it's like you already use a Sinister Six, and them breaking out would be kind of pointless because it's basically like Arkham Asylum, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's that point. Last but not least, Green Goblin. If they're gonna have him in this game, they'd have to do him really, really well. You see, in the first game, they'd had 5 mainstream Spider-Man villains and a 6th villain, of course, plus side villains like Shocker and Miles Morales. They used the Tinkerer, but just changed them up a bit, and but the 6th game, the 3rd game, excuse me, would have 3 or 4 villains, depending on Mysterio, Lizard, Venom, and then Green Goblin. You gotta save villains for the potential sequels afterwards, if you're gonna make a full series. I don't know. I think Lizard should be like a Gwen Stacy kind of villain if they do put her in this game. But that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys later. Peace out.